Yusuf. How do we get Baba to love us more than loving him? Kill Joseph. Let's kill him. Or let's cast him out to another land so that your father, when Joseph is gone, will only love you. SubhanAllah. See a problem here? This is not normal behavior. But I want to tell you something. Who was their father? Who was the father of these 10? Yaqub. Who is Yaqub? He's a prophet of God. He's got 10 children that are conspiring to commit murder. And he's a messenger of God. Do you see what I'm getting at here? Got a little issue going on. This is what we call dysfunctionality in a family. And that's part of the reason that this story of Yusuf is so important, my brothers and sisters, at so many different levels. Have you ever heard, and may Allah forgive me, but this is a true psychological issue that we need to deal with in our community. Our community in general is not good with dealing with problems, I have to tell you. I've been doing da'wah for 15 years of my life. Wallahi al-azim. And I'm telling you, a lot of the issues that I found in our community, we sweep them under the rug. We don't want to deal with them. We'll get to them later. Have you ever heard of something, you probably talked about it amongst your circles, the Imam child syndrome? The Imam son? What typically happens to a man, an Imam, let's just say, whose whole life is spent taking care of his community? What happens to his children? They get neglected. This is a serious issue. I'm not saying this is a joke. They get neglected because the father and the mother are so busy dealing with my problems and your problems, and the fight between my wife and your wife, and the fight between me and my wife, and being at the masjid, and doing this and doing that, that when they get home, they don't even have time for their own kids, right? So they get neglected. So what ends up happening to the kids? We used to joke growing up that we used to see that some of the imams, their children would be some of the, they'd be out there. But this is a community problem. This is our issue. It's not the imam's issue. It's not for us to make fun. It's for us to help. So now you have a prophet of God, Yaqub, whose father was a prophet of God, Isaac, Ishaq, whose grandfather was Abraham, and his 10 children are talking about committing murder. But not only murder to a random individual, who do they want to murder? Their own brother. Their own brother. So one of them says, don't kill Yusuf. I have a better idea. We'll throw him into a well. Now, I'm going to end on this point, my brothers and sisters. There's 10 brothers. They're all sitting there talking about what to do with Yusuf. How is it that 10 people come together and the best idea that they can come up with is kill him, cast him far away, or throw him down a well? Are these normal opinions? These are abnormal. These are very strange. And so psychologists, they talk about something, my brothers and sisters, that's called groupthink mentality. Have you ever heard of groupthink mentality? Raise your hand if you ever heard of groupthink mentality. What is groupthink mentality?
You think, you don't have any independent opinion, you just go with the group.
Exactly. Your independent opinion gets drowned out. Not only drowned out, you don't even express it, so you can just go with what the group is thinking. Groupthink mentality was founded by a psychologist by the name of Irving Janis. And I want to give you the 8 symptoms of what he calls groupthink mentality, and I want you to tell me if the brothers of Yusuf are suffering from this. Illusion of invulnerability. Creates excessive optimism that encourages taking extreme risks. Do the brothers of Yusuf want to do this? What's the extreme risk they want to do?
Kill the brother.
Kill the brother. Can you just look at us a little bit more? That'd be kind of normal, right? But did they say, let's do that? Let's kill him. He goes on to say, collective rationalism. Members discount warnings and do not reconsider their assumptions. What were the brothers assuming was going to happen when they get rid of Yusuf? That Yaqub would love them. Now, when they did their plan and they got rid of Yusuf, did that happen? Their assumptions were false. Their assumptions were false. He goes on to say, belief in inherent morality. Members believe in the rightness of their cause and therefore ignore the ethical or moral consequences of their decision. Who did I say their father was? Yaqub. Do you think he taught them morality?
Yes.
Come on. Of course he did. Of course he did. What did they do with the morality when they were having this meeting?
Threw it out the window.
They threw it out the window. Did not apply to this group mentality. He goes on to say, now here's the interesting one. We'll finish these up and stop for today. Is that okay? Okay, with your permission. I don't want to keep you too long. Stereotyped views of outgroups. Negative view of enemy make effective responses to conflict seem unnecessary. What's an outgroup? Who knows what an outgroup is? There's in-groups and out-groups. In-groups are what's called in psychology a group of individuals that you can establish a common bond with. For example, let's just say that Javed and I both like to, for example, come to Masjid Rahmah. And we've bonded with each other because we both come to Masjid Rahmah. We've just established an in-group. But then there are a few brothers that go to Masjid XYZ. And because they go to Masjid XYZ and they don't come to Masjid Rahmah, we don't like them. So guess what they are? They're the out-group. There's something in our in-group that's made us better than that out-group. We've already differentiated ourselves from them. Right? My sheikh and your sheikh is better than his sheikh. Of course. You know? The town I grew up in is better than Milimora, right, Mazhar? Of course. Standard mentality that starts to happen, right? And then I hang out with my people, I stick my chest out. I have no time for you. I have no time for your sheikh. Get him out of here. So they didn't make any effective response to this conflict. Let's just kill him. He goes on to say, direct pressure on dissenters. Members are under pressure not to express arguments against any of the group's view. We only really, in the story of Yusuf, when Allah is telling us about the 10 brothers talk to each other, we only hear 3 opinions. There's 10 brothers. 7 are silent. One is saying, kill him. The other says, throw him off into a far-off land. And then the eldest says, throw him down a well. Where are the other 7? They're not even talking. They're not even talking. Self-censorship, doubts, and deviations from the perceived group consensus are not expressed. Did the 7 brothers say anything? Do you think any of them had a doubt? Let's be honest. Do you think that they had doubts? Javed? Of course. This is their brother. There had to have been a doubt then. But because of groupthink mentality, they're unwilling to express that doubt because they didn't want to stand out from the crowd. One thing you'll notice about the messengers of God, they all stood out from the crowd. They weren't scared of the truth. They weren't scared of saying, La ilaha illallah, to a complete nation that was against them. Yunus alayhi salam wasn't scared to call people to Allah when he had 100,000 people against him. Our Prophet Muhammad alayhi salam wasn't scared to call people to Allah and to believe in him as a messenger when all of Quraysh in the Arabian Peninsula wanted to kill him. He would not censor the truth. My brothers and sisters, you and I cannot censor truth. There's a way we present it. There's a way you present it with hikmah, with wisdom, but never censor truth. Because you're only harming yourself, and in this case, look at the harm that was caused to everyone. Goes on to say, the last two, illusion of agreements. The majority view and judgments are assumed to be unanimous. Right? We had 3 talking on the behalf of 10. 3 talking on the behalf of 10. The other 7, not a word. So we assume that everyone's in agreement with us. And the last, he says, is self-appointed mind guards. Members protect the group and the leader from information that is problematic or contradicts the group's cohesive view and or decisions. So one person makes sure that any sense that gets spoken does not get spoken. Anything that's going to say other than what we're saying, we'll make sure that those words never get spoken. This is what we call intellectual terrorism. You terrorize people intellectually. Very easy thing to do. We have that in our community. Brother, don't sit with that man. He's a person of bid'ah. What did I just do to that man? Oh, brother, don't sit with that sister. She doesn't wear her hijab right. Or sister, don't sit with that sister. Do we do this in our community?
Yes.
Let's be honest with ourselves. Right? We create our in-groups. We create our out-groups. We're always the in-group. They're always the out-group. I'll tell you a funny story and then we'll finish it. This, inshallah, it's a joke that our shuyukh used to tell us. There was 2 men sitting together. One of them was a scholar. The other one, not so much. And so the man, speaking to the scholar, he says, how many people, or who are the people of Jannah? The scholar, he sits down, he thinks about it. And he says, well, at that time, he says, half of the world believes in La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. He says, the other half don't. So of course, the other half that don't believe, they're all going to hell. So that just leaves us. And then he goes, from our group, from the Muslims, he goes, half of them are scholars, the other half are not scholars. So of course, the ones that aren't scholars, right to Jahannam. That just leaves the true scholars. Then he goes on to say, but from the scholars, we all know that most of them are scholars for dollars, and very few are scholars for Allah. So that only leaves me and you. And then he says, I'm not too sure about you. I mean, come on. We have to protect ourselves from the groupthink mentality. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that in this gathering that He makes our hearts connected to Allah, that He makes our hearts connected to His Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Allah allows us to take lessons from the story of Sayyidina Yusuf. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless everyone that was here. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to shower us with His rahmah. I ask Allah to shower the rahmah upon those who are not here. Ya Allah, you know, Ya Rabbil Alameen, that in Baltimore, Ya Allah, that there are Muslims who are in need of you, Ya Rabbil Alameen. As a group here, we are together, Ya Rabbil Alameen, in our masjid, Ya Rabb. وَأَنَّ الْمَسَاجِدَ لِلَّهِ. You have told us, Ya Allah, that the masajid, the mosques are yours, Ya Rabbil Alameen. We have gathered in your mosque, Ya Rabbil Alameen. We ask you, Ya Allah, by this gathering, by your greatness, Ya Rabbil Alameen, by the greatness of La ilaha illallah, Muhammadur Rasulullah, that you shower your mercy upon the Muslims of this world, and of Maryland, and of the United States, and of every country, Ya Rabbil Alameen, that need you, Ya Rabbil Alameen. Ya Allah, there are Muslims that need you, Ya Rabbil Alameen. We don't know who they are. We don't know where they are, Ya Rabbil Alameen. We ask you, Ya Rabbil Alameen, to shower your rahmah upon them, Ya Rabbil Alameen. Oh Allah, take care of their matters, Ya Rabbil Alameen. Make all of their matters easy for them, Ya Rabbil Alameen. Wa sallallahu ala Sayyidina Muhammadin fil awwaleen. Wa sallallahu ala Sayyidina Muhammadin fil akhirin. Wa sallallahu ala Sayyidina Muhammadin fi kulli waqtin wa heen. Amin, amin, Ya Rabbil Alameen. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ya Rabbil Alameen. We ask you on behalf of this sister, Ya Rabbil Alameen, that you make this surgery easy for her, Ya Rabbil Alameen. We ask you on her behalf, Ya Rabbil Alameen, that you give her family patience, Ya Rabbil Alameen. We ask you on her behalf, Ya Rabbil Alameen, that you make it smooth, easy, Ya Rabbil Alameen. Oh Allah, you sent your angels, Ya Rabbil Alameen, to perform surgery on the heart of Muhammad ibn Abdullah sallallahu alayhi wa ala alihi. We ask you to send your malaika